Well, it's that time of year again. I'm down at the boatyard and it's time to put Smuggler's Blues back into the water. She's been out for the winter and I take the boat out for a couple of reasons. Firstly, the marina berth I have is a bit exposed, so in the storms in the winter it's not a great place to be. We don't use the boat very much in the winter anyway. And the other reason is it's got to come out anyway for some work to be done each year, so it makes sense to just have it out for a few months and let it all rest and be properly winterized and just look after the boat generally. So in terms of the work that's done each year, the main thing it needs is anti-fouling. Now that's this paint, so the water line is here. That means that the boat floats in the water and the water comes to just under that line. And this blue paint, what that is anti-fouling, and it stops weed growing on the bottom of the boat. If you didn't have that on there, the boat would be completely weeded up within a matter of weeks, which affects the performance quite a bit because it's a massive amount of drag there, of course. So that stops the weed growing, and then it's also the outdrive here is anti-fouled. Now this, you may not have seen one of these before. Most of the boats that I film were bigger boats and they normally have shaft drive or pod drive. This is an outdrive, and so the engine on this boat is right at the back, and these are popular on boats up to about probably 40 feet long, something like that. And it's a very efficient way of packaging because the engine's right at the back, gives you loads of space then for the cabin, and it's a nice low drag solution rather than dragging rudders and prop shafts and that kind of thing through the water, so they're good from a performance point of view as well. What else have we had done while she's out? Well, she's all been completely cut back and polished. Done a really nice job on this, as you can see. So she's looking pretty sharp. A couple of other things I had done. This woodwork, I don't know how well you can see it, we'll go on board in a second, but all this woodwork around here, that was starting to look shabby. You can see it around the back there as well. That's all been done, so it's all been completely sanded right back and refinished and revarnished. So she's looking in a pretty good state, really. I mean, she's a 2006 boat, so she's what, 14 years old, but looking pretty good. So it's currently about 11:15. We're launching at midday, so I'm just down here just getting the covers ready and putting some of the gear back on, that kind of thing, and then we'll be good to launch. Let's go and have a look on board. So this is this wood that I was mentioning. You can see they've done a very, very nice job with this around here and around here. That was done by High Tide Marine, and the rest of the work was done by Coastal Marine, who were very good. The only thing we haven't quite got finished is this is the shower on the back of the boat when you come out from swimming. It's a cold water shower. I'm in the process of having that replaced with a hot water shower. That's going to be luxury, but unfortunately the parts are on back order, so that's not been done yet. That'll be done as soon as we get the parts for it. This has all been cleaned in here. All the cushions are out at the minute. They're all inside, so they're kept nice and dry. And these are the canopies I've just taken off that go around the back. All the ropes and fenders there waiting to go back on. These are the ropes for the berth, so they'll go back onto the berth. They stay on the berth and we hook the boat on when we go in, and the fenders you'll see underneath, and then the dash underneath here. So I've got to put the GPS back on, the VHF radio that sits in that little bracket down there, so those are all things to do, and then we should be good to go. Let's have a quick look inside. So these are all the cushions that normally go in the cockpit. They're all in there. I take them home in the winter and put them in the spare room so they stay nice and dry and fresh. But we brought them all back down last weekend, put them back on the boat so they're ready to go back out. During the winter I keep a dehumidifier running in here and a small heater. They've been taken off now, and that's why all these cushions which are left on the boat are all propped like that, so the air can circulate around them. We don't get any mould or mildew growing on them and that kind of thing, and then cupboard doors and that sort of thing are left open. So yeah, she's not looking fantastic at the minute with all this stuff everywhere. This is cushions in here, aquaholic cushions actually, waiting to go on the boat. You can just see the logo there, so they'll go out once everything's back together, and yeah, she'll be looking good. But at the minute she's very much still in winter mode, and that I need. So let's go and get her ready. Good. Well, I think we're in pretty good shape. What have we got? We've got the fenders ready to be deployed. They're here, and on the side decks they can drop over, so that if we're going to go alongside a pontoon, that obviously stops the boat from becoming damaged. The ropes are in place, so there's a bow line there to put on when the boat is launched, so we can tie the boat on, and the same at the stern here, and another fender. And then what else have we done? Life jacket ready there, so that once we're afloat I can put that on. And talking of emergency, there is VHF radio, that's wired up and powered up, that's ready to go. The GPS chart plotter here is ready to go. That's where we are at the moment in a boatyard, and very shortly we'll be on this river here. And what else have I got? This is an EPIRB, This I will be wearing. That's an absolute worst case scenario. It uses a satellite system to summon rescue, and there's also a handheld VHF. That's a useful thing to have because it's completely independent of the boat's batteries. So again, worst case scenario, you've got an independent way of calling for help. Hopefully we'll never need this stuff. Very reassuring to have it. Taking the canopies off apart from the one across the top, there's not much point taking that off today. So I should run around probably with that in place. The batteries are on charge, so we can give them a last boost up before she's launched, and that's about the size of it really. Let me show you the engine while we're here. Just lift that out of the way. This is another job that gets done each year as an engine service. That is underneath here. And there it is, that's a Volvo Penta D4 260, 260 horsepower. As you can see, it's all pretty clean down there. I'm quite proud of my engine room. I'm quite proud of that engine. So that gets a service every year, and what I do is I have it serviced when the boat comes out of the water, so it sits through the winter, winterized, fresh oil in it, with the antifreeze at full strength, and make sure everything's nice and dry in there. And in fact there's a power socket, that's what that grey box there is, so I can plug a heater in, so that sits with a little heater in it as well, and down the side, just giving a bit of warmth in there so it keeps it dry and nice. That's the hot water tank, that silver fellow. That's what the shower is going to run off of when it's fitted. So yeah, we are all set I think. We just need the guys to come down now and drop us in the water. Exciting times. Okay, well here comes the travel lift. This is the device to lift the boat in with. So that will slip down either side of my boat, and then they'll put those slings under it, hook it up and drive it down to the river. Doing now is just painting in the patches where the boat was resting on the wooden chocks, and of course we couldn't paint there, so that's now being done, and then that'll dry as it goes down to the waterside, and then we'll have a completely anti-fouled hull. And we're off. Can see her going in. It's never a nice, calm, sunny day when I launch my boat. It's always like this. It's grey, it's windy, and yeah, hopefully not a portent for the season. But anyway, there's Smugglers, top of the slipway, and as you've probably gathered, this is where she's going to be launched. are afloat. So, two very important questions at this stage. One, is there any water coming in? And there really shouldn't be, but best to check, and it's all looking nice and dry. And the other big one is she going to start? This engine hasn't been run for, well, months actually. Last ran in October, I think, and it's now March, so fingers crossed. Making the right sort of noises so far. No. So anyway, it turned out, rather embarrassingly, that I hadn't switched one of the battery switches on properly. That was after getting somebody down to have a look and try and jump start it. But as you can see in here, we are now fully operational, and I am officially an idiot. Let's go and see what else I can cock up. Okay, so after a little bit of a false start, we're now back on the water. On a blustery day with a working boat. The joy of boating, eh? And this is the River Dart, looking rather grey and threatening today. Well, it's looking a little bit grey and foreboding. It's hard to tell at this stage what the sea conditions are like, but we're just at the entrance of the River Dart now, so we'll find out in a moment. There's a little bit of white water I can see on the edge of the rocks over there. Doesn't look too bad. What it's like further out remains to be seen. So we're going to potter out gently, have a look, and if it's not that great, we'll turn around and come back in, because it's not worth pushing it. We'll do the boat on the at Dart Haven and come down another day for it. But anyway, let's see how we get on. Let's push on a little bit further. Okay, so a little bit further out now. There's still a bit of swell out here, but nothing too troubling, and it will be on our beam or indeed behind us once we get around that cardinal marker. You might be able to see just ahead of us there and around those rocks, and then we'll be heading east, and this sea, which is going in this direction, will be behind us as we go that way. So I think we're looking pretty good. It's also possible that once we get around this headland we'll pick up a bit more shelter anyway. So we're picking the roads up a little bit, and we'll press on, see how we get on. Right by Dartmouth. These are the absolute pain, these crab pot boys, as you can see them. Trying to avoid those. If you get one of those around the prop, you're really in trouble. And they don't mark them terribly well, to say the least. Anyway, keep our eyes peeled. So that is about 18 knots. Nice cruising speed. And we're pressing on. Yep, so as I thought, we've turned now. We've gone around that cardinal mark. You can just see it just there, and through these rocks. See one here and one here, and the sea is now behind us. And what I mean by that is the waves are travelling the same direction that we are, and that makes the ride a hell of a lot easier. See, we're just surfing gently through it now, very comfortably. That's about 20 knots, some nice cruising speed for this boat. Very ahead, you can just make out in the distance the headland there that's very grey. That's where we're going. That takes us round and into Torbay, which is where we ultimately want to end up. So we're just going to cruise along at this sort of speed and make some distance. So you can see the waves around that rock just there. It's not flat calm, that's for sure. So I'll just show you, if I can, on the chart where we're going. This is the river we came out of here. This is us, this little boat fellow here, and we're going down along here, around these headlands, and this is Torbay. We're going up in Torquay just over here. So that is the plan. And that is it in reality. up now, and as I hoped, it is actually calming down a little bit. We're getting a bit more shelter of the land, so it's becoming quite a pleasant trip now. We've got a bit of Jimmy Buffett on the stereo, and life is good once more. There, and as I hoped, it really has calmed down quite a bit now. It's really rather pleasant. So we just need to come around Bury Head, we're into Tor Bay, which will be very sheltered, and then scoot across the bay and we're back in Torquay. So that's good news. Nice to see Bury Head again, nice to be out on the boat again. In fact, it's bloody brilliant to be out on the boat again. We're back in the bay, baby. Good news indeed. So we're back in the bay now. It's nice and calm here, sheltered by the land. But the last thing to do before we head into the harbour, we just like to give it a quick speed test at the beginning of the season just to see how it's running, make sure it's performing as it should do while everything's clean. So we'll wind the trim up a bit, and then we're going to wind the power on, and we'll see what sort of speed we can get. So currently it's doing 23 knots. You can see it just there. That's the sort of fella at the top. Just wind it up, see what she'll do. 33 knots, that's pretty damn good. Fantastic, it's good to be back. There's Torquay, Journey's End, sweep round, drop the speed off, cruise on in, and that has been a good trip, a good first run for the season, very, very pleasing. Awesome, absolutely awesome. So I, and more importantly Smuggler's Blues, are both safely back in Torquay, and just in time I think, because it's looking pretty grey out that way. It might be with some bad weather coming in. So my plan now is to give the boat a good wash down, get the salt off it, but I'm going to come down then at the weekend and give it a really good tidy up, sort out, get all the cushions out, and get it looking beautiful again for the summer. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that intrepid little journey, and we will catch up with you soon.